Joachim Bitterlich is a former German ambassador to NATO. He's now joining us live from Paris. Mr. Ambassador, welcome to the show. Do you think Trump's demand is practical? We are talking about member countries raising defense expenditure to 5% of their GDP here.
I don't think it's neither realistic nor practical. I see this as a typical Trump who is provoking, pushing for more expenditure on defense. I understand it. And I think we have been underfinancing our defense in the last 20 years. This is correct. And please, Trump, to some extent, I understand him when he says, well, there's no protection without paying the bill. On the other hand, when you look at NATO expenditure of the member states for armament, a certain part is coming from purchasing in the US. And I think this is part of a burden sharing within NATO. If he said, well, the goal at the end is 3% by everyone, I understand it. I accept it. I've been defending this figure since now 2 years. I think it's correct, 3%. And this may be really okay. And at the same time, the Europeans should make it clear to Donald Trump, well, okay, we buy a certain part of our armament in the US. And therefore, this is part of our burden sharing. And please, under these circumstances, be realistic.
Mr. Ambassador, if you're talking about being realistic here, and you actually mentioned it, that the NATO is underfunded, but who is set to benefit from this proposal, if at all NATO agrees with Trump and implements it, considering some member countries cannot even raise 2% of their GDP towards defense spending?
I'm a bit astonished that some member states are still not able, let's say, to raise their expenditure up to 2%, as others do, France, Britain. Just a second, I have to stop here. Stop here.
All right, that is an ambassador.
An urgency. It was an urgency call.
Okay.
Okay, fine. You can come back. You stopped it immediately.
Are you good?
You stopped. I listen to you, okay, but you don't see me anymore.
No. I see you, Mr. Ambassador. You can continue. You can continue if you're okay.
Then it's okay. Please repeat your last question. I'm astonished to see certain member states not able, let's say, to fulfill at least the 2%. This is, let's say, underfinancing. It's clear. On the other hand, it's clear within NATO there are some who are more concerned than others. For example, the Germans, Poland, the Baltic states are more concerned, let's say, by Russian threat on the east, or by the risk of a Russian threat from the east than others, than, for example, Spain or Portugal. They are far away. But as a matter of fact, they should do more. And therefore, what Mark Rutte, the NATO Secretary General, has said as a common goal, 3% for me is the right figure at the end of the day.
All right, Mr. Ambassador Joachim Bitterlich, thank you very much for making time for us and for talking to us. Thank you.
A pleasure as always.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.